Hello, everybody, and good evening to you all. Great to finally see you. Welcome to class and welcome to another wonderful session. Great to see you. Lucretia, great to see you. Nkululeko. I like the way Timothy pronounces Nkululeko. I don't know how he does it, but it sounds nicer. So thank you all and welcome to this wonderful class. Welcome to this data analytics with Power BI course. This is a powerful course that will give you a whole career. This is a powerful course that will give you a role in many companies. This is a powerful course that with it alone, you can start working. And so we are very excited to be part of this course and to be learning at this level. Yes, this is a course designed for absolute beginners to pro. And as you go through this course, you are going to learn all that you need to learn to become a data analyst with Power BI. And even today, I saw some roles being posted for Power BI developers and Power BI data analysts. And I said, wow, what we are learning, companies are really employing for it. Yeah, so after this course, you can even take a job as a Power BI data analyst or a Power BI developer or data visualization or business intelligence analyst. And I'm very happy that we are going through this course. And this course is progressing really, really well. So welcome everybody once again. Adalberto, John, Richard, great to see you. And Robbie, of course, great to see you. The time that leads to mastery is dependent on the intensity of our focus. For us to become masters, we need to pay some attention. We need to be focused. We need to apply some persistence and focus on what we are building. And if you are serious to build a career as a data analyst or data scientist, you need to focus and you need to learn. You need to understand that nothing comes easy. You need to understand that a career doesn't just come on a silver platter. You need to push. You need to pay a price. You need to learn consistently for a while over time, continuously, and the skills will come, and the expertise will come, and the mastery will come. No one becomes a master learning anyhow. And so I'm so happy that data students, you are so consistent, you are so ready every time to learn. And I can see how you are learning each and every day. You are pushing, putting in the work, practicing, working along with the class. This is only preparing you to become masters in the field. So let's keep pushing. Let's keep pushing. In a few months to come, you are going to see yourself up there. You are going to see yourself a pro. You are going to see yourself a master. You are going to see yourself that qualified data analyst, really qualified. You are going to see yourself that qualified data scientist. Yeah, so let's learn. Let's learn the machine learning. Let's not put it aside. Let's learn the ML. Let's learn the Tableau, the Power BI, the Python. Let's learn all the skills we need and we will get there. I can't wait to see you there. And I know that you will make it. So keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, and we will get there. So welcome once again. This is myself, and I welcome you to the course Power BI Data Analyst course. And this is a Microsoft certified course. After this course, you are able to get certified by Microsoft. So let's learn everything. And I'm super excited that this course is not just theoretical. We are learning the theory. We are also learning the practicals. Now, the theory is very, very important. And so the first thing on this list is a self-study on the Microsoft certification platform. Microsoft has done a wonderful job to teach this course through text and images and some short videos. And so you need to do your self-study and make sure you learn what you need to learn. All right. We are not learning anyhow. We are learning to be professionals. We are learning to be quality data analysts. And so let's not learn anyhow. So please do your self-study, get onto the Microsoft Power BI learning platform and learn. And if you've gotten your code, be preparing for your examination and make sure you don't miss the self-study. Anyone who misses the self-study has missed out on something. So I don't want you to miss out on anything. So please go through it, do it, and it's gonna worth it. So make sure you are done with this. And we had a wonderful practical introduction to Power BI. And if you didn't know anything about Power BI, if your knowledge about Power BI was off and you were so ignorant about it, now you have a clear picture of Power BI. We have a clear picture of the various components of Power BI. Now you know there's something called Power BI Desktop. You know that there's something called Power BI Service. You understand the two, and that makes a lot of sense. You understand what business intelligence is. You understand that Power BI is used for data analysis. You understand that Power BI has Power Query. Thank you, Newman. And Power Query, you've got a feel of Power Query. And before, maybe you thought Power Query was very difficult or Power Query was something, but now you understand it and you understand the workflow of a Power BI project. You understand that to use Power BI, you need to get the data, you need to connect to the data from multiple sources. We've tried a whole lot. We've tried MySQL, we've tried various sources, we've tried GitHub, and it was just amazing. We also understand the transformation that before you start visualizing, you need to transform. We've gone through all of that and we've gotten a lot of experience and we are really making progress. We've had a practical live demo and the demo was just incredible. And when I saw you present your work, I was blown away. Just with a few lessons, you were able to present like professionals. Yes, then that gives me a lot of joy to know that as we continue with this course, by the time we end, you are going to be a top class professional. So let's keep doing it. Let's keep doing the same things and let's get wonderful results out of this. This Power BI course, let's get something out of it. Let's get something out of it. And to get something out of it, we need to put in some efforts to learn. You've done your presentations. It was wonderful. We've gone through data loading, data transformation. And before we get into data modeling, we want to really get a feel of Power BI in the health industry. We want to see how Power BI looks like for the medical facilities and how they need to use Power BI, how they use Power BI. Because for all you know, some of you are going to work in the health sector. So we need to analyze some data from the health sector. And so what we are going to do tonight is to build a healthcare patient insight report, design and build a real-world patient insight report, focus on visualizing the trends, the metrics, and the key health indicators that the health industry and health centers need. And we are going to use Power BI to get a feel of Power BI in the health sector. By the end of this lesson, you will be confident about designing and building professional healthcare reports by visualizing key metrics, identifying trends, and delivering insightful visualizations and insights that can be used for decision making. And this is a wonderful lesson. And we have gone through the first step, second step, and now we are going to build and we are going to publish. And the project we are going to work on is titled Patient Treatment Analysis for a Healthcare Facility. So we are going to analyze the patient data gathered over a period of time with over more than 1,000 patient records. And our job is to build a visualization report that can be used to analyze the patient's data, healthcare data at the health center. And so this is a project title. And one thing I decided to do in this particular class was to take some time to go ahead of the class and to show you the end product, what we are going to be working on. And so let me quickly sign in and I'm going to show you what we are going to build. And after we do that, you will be able to see what we are going to build. So let me quickly do that and we will continue. Okay, so this is the report we are going to be working on today. And I decided to take the time to let you see it before we start. And I was trying to log in, but it was registered under a different account. That is why I was off for a minute. So let me know if you can see my screen and if I am visible and you can hear me as well. Let me know. Okay. All right. So this is a picture of what we are going to be building today. This is a picture of what we are going to see in today's class and what we are going to work on. And this is a patient treatment and follow-up report for a health center called XYZ Health Center. And so we are going to use the same data sets that we cleaned the last time in the previous class. We are going to use the same data set to create this wonderful visualization. And this will help us to learn a thing or two about visualization in preparation for our main visualization class. And so with this, you are going to see the total number of patients and you are going to see the total number of patients. Someone should take this screen and put in the chat for me. Let me see, be sure that everyone can see my screen. We are going to see the total number of patients. Okay, thank you, Newman. Beautiful. It looks awesome. We are going to see the total cost of treatment. We are going to see the average treatment duration. We are going to see follow-up percentages. And we are going to see diagnosis overview. This diagnosis overview tells us what common health issues are reported the most in this health facility. And if you can see my screen, what is the highest health issue reported in this facility? So from the data, we are able to tell this is not the same as every other health facility. This is not the same, let's say, in the real world, but in this particular health center, this is the issue, and this is the data, this is the report, this is the data gathered over a long period. And what is the most common health issue here, the most common diagnosis here? All right. So when you click on malaria, you can see that the entire data and the entire report will change and conform to malaria's query to show us data about malaria, and it will refresh and show us all the details about malaria. When you click on this other one, you are going to see what is happening. When you click on this one, you are going to see what is happening. And this gives you an idea of what is going on in this particular health center and the various diagnoses that are being reported in this health facility and the key metrics that we are supposed to monitor. For example, we get to see the gender distribution for each of these diagnoses. When you click on the first one again, you are going to see the gender distribution. You are going to see the percentage of female and the percentage of male. And you get to see what is going on. If you see the follow-up status, you get to see what is happening with this particular situation. If you check the country, cost by country, you can see the countries and what is happening based upon the data. And if you check the age distribution, it is clear that the seniors are more susceptible to this particular diagnosis and this particular illness than the youth. And you can see that even adults have more than children, and then children have more than the youth. So this is really something interesting. And we have a left panel here where we get to see all of these again. We get to use our filters and slices to select what we want to zoom in on. And country, we can choose by country and we get the data based upon the country we are interested in. So this is really good. And all of these countries have wonderful health facilities. And all of these health facilities need data analysts like you for you to help them visualize these key metrics in their health center. I like the last part here that shows the last refreshed. So anytime the data refreshes, it records it over there. And this is a wonderful project to work on. What do you think about this project? Let me know in the chat. This is what we are going to start working on. We've gotten our data already. We have done our data cleaning already. And so right now we are just going to move straight into the visualization. Yeah, so this is going to be a wonderful time. And by the end of this lesson, we are going to be able to design something as amazing as this. Something as amazing as this. All right, so let me switch back and we'll get into the details of the lesson. All right, so we are ready to dive in, and this is the work we are going to be working on. This work will give us a lot of experience, and we are going to learn a lot from this. So this is a healthcare patient report, and this is going to be a guided project as always. And with a video, you'll be able to follow along. Even if you miss anything, you'll be able to follow along and be able to build exactly the same reports. And the PDFs may not come on time, but the videos will always be available. So always watch the video and do the same work. And so I'm going to launch my Power BI. And if you are following, please launch yours and let's get ready to dive in. This is a powerful class, and I'm so happy that we are going to be working on this. And we already have our data prepared. And so let's open to our data. And mine is right here. It's called Healthcare Report. And I want to be sure that my screen is visible. Let me know if you can see my screen. Okay, so I can see that you can see my screen. Thank you so much. And let's open to the data we worked on the last time. I asked you to save your work. If you didn't save your work, then you are in a very, very big trouble. Make sure you saved your work because we are going to use the same reports with the data already prepared, already cleaned. For us to be sure that the data is clean, we can go back to the Power Query editor and look at the data. I have loaded my data. So this is Power BI with the data in. For you to be sure that the data is there, this is all you have to do. Make sure you check at the far right side and make sure that your data is here. So this shows the table, and this table is called patient record. When you click on it, you are going to see all the columns in the table. So this is it. If you have multiple tables, you are going to see these are all the columns. So you remember these columns. I remember when we were working on age group, I remember city, country. And so this shows that the data is loaded. To be sure, again, you can click on transform data right here. And once you click on transform data, you'll be able to see your data again. So this particular data set is so clean, is healthy, is ready for visualization because in our previous lesson, we took all the time to ensure that column profiling is 100% for each one of them and our data is good to go. So let me come here and just close it and let's get right into our visualization. All right, so following our slides, before we get into the visualizations, just like in our previous project, we have to build some measures. We have to build some measures. And for this particular project, we will create what is called a DAX column. And after that, we'll build the measures we'll be using for the visualization. So one thing we are going to do now, we are actually going to create what is called a DAX calculated column. It is also a measure, but it's a column that has some key data that you put in. And so to do this, we will go to the modeling tab, and then we'll go to what is called the new column. New column. we'll go to new column. So this one is not like a new measure. This is new column. So let's take note of that, because when you are building your visualization, you may need to introduce new DAX columns. So these are like measures, but they are columns. So when you go to the modeling tab, you can see new column right here. So we've been using new measure. Today we'll use new measure. Later on, we'll use quick measure. Today we are talking about new column. So let's click on new column, and we are going to create a new column through DAX. And with this new column, we will be able to have a column that we'll use as part of our KPIs and also the visualization report. So this column, we are going to call it treatment duration. We want to find out the duration of the treatments. So let me type that, treatment duration. So you can do that with me. Just call it treatment duration. Duration equals to, then we'll call a DAX function called datediff. Sorry, datediff. So datediff here is a function that is able to tell you the date difference. So this is a very clear column we are creating. It's going to take the date of admission and the other dates that is called discharge date. And then it tells us the number of days. If you look at the argument, suggested over here, you are going to see that you need to provide date 1, date 2, and the interval. So the result or the return of this function will return the date difference based upon the interval you provided. So please watch what I'm going to do. Now, when we get into data modeling and when we get into DAX, we are going to understand that sometimes you need to select the table you are going to work with before you select the column. And to select the table, I'm going to type something right now. The moment I type it, I want you to put it in the chat for me. Now, right now, you may not see the reason why you need to look for the table, but in a bigger project, you will realize that you are working with multiple tables. And so to find the column, you need to find the table first. So please type in the chat, find the table first. Let me be sure you can hear me and you are following. Find the table first. All right? Find the table first. All right. Thank you, Robly. Robly is so fast. I don't know how he types. Robly is so fast. All right. So to find the table, I'm going to input a character. And the moment you see the character, please put in the same character in the chat for me. It is just a single character. So I'm going to see who will see it and who will be able to type it first. All right. So look at the character I just inputted. Just do the same in the chat for me. All right. Let me see. Robert got it right. Lucretia got it right. And who else? John got it right. Okay. Okay. All right. So please let's keep that in mind when we get into DAX. We'll talk more about it. The moment you input this particular character, what is the name of this character? Who can tell us? What's the name of this character? Okay. All right. Someone says this character is called single quotation mark. All right. That's wonderful. Let's keep it that way. It has other names, but let's keep it this way. So the moment you use a single quote, what you are going to see will be the table, the list of tables you have, and the columns. This is an easy way to target the table you are looking for. Now, when I imported the data and I check at the far right here, we saw the name of our table, and the name of the table is patient records. So you can just see the table right here. It's also called apostrophe. All right. And you can click upon it and you can see that it will load the table. Now, this is important when you are working on bigger projects and you need to select the right table and the right column. All right. What we are actually interested in are the two dates. For the date difference, we are taking dates of admission and then discharge date. But then it comes from a table. So we choose a table first, and then we choose admission date. And you can see the syntax from here. After admission date, what do we input? Who can tell me based upon the syntax on the screen? What do we input after admission date? After admission date, let me see in the chat. And someone says you just input a comma. I like that. Robley, you are just perfect. All right. So after the comma, you can see that the focus is on date 2. So date 2, starting the same way, begin with your apostrophe, look for the table, or you can just look for it directly here. And you have date 2. Okay, this is important because you are fetching the column out of a table. So choose a table and choose a column. Then you introduce your comma, and what parameter are we dealing with right now based upon the syntax? After the comma, what parameter are we looking for right now? What parameter are we looking for? All right. So the parameter we are looking for right now and the argument we are going to provide is called the interval. So the interval, let's choose day. You can set it to weeks or months or years, but let's choose day. We want to see, let me put it this way, the treatment duration based upon days. So choose day. And when we get into DAX, we are going to learn something that if you open parentheses for a function, and we are programmers, so we know that we are data scientists, we know about functions, we know that functions are parentheses. Now you can see that when you open a parenthesis, it is in red. So make sure you don't have any red parentheses. So how do we ensure that this red parenthesis goes away and becomes blue? What do we do? Who can tell me in the chat? What do? We close it. So at the end, if you're having a red parenthesis, it means you are supposed to close it. And when you close it, let's go back and check if it is red. So there are no more red parentheses. So after you do this, just hit enter and check it at the columns to make sure that it has appeared there. So hit enter and look for treatment duration. If anybody has it, let me know. Type it appeared or yes in the chat. I can see mine right here and I'm so excited I can see it. So yes, thank you, Richard. This is a way to use DAX to create a column. And this is wonderful. This is wonderful. This particular column is going to be used for the visualization. And we just learned how to do that. And it's so wonderful. If you go back to the data, let's analyze the data and see if the column we created is part of the main data. So here we can see that we have patient ID, full name, gender, age, admission date, discharge date, diagnosis, treatment costs, city, country, email, follow-up required, patient code, age group, that's the end. So the column we created, is it part of the main data? Yes or no? The column we created, is it part of the main data? All right, so the column we created, it didn't come from the data set, but it has been created for the purpose of the visualization and the report we are coming to create. So it is not part of the main data set, but it has been created with data for us to be able to build the visualizations with it. All right, so first thing is done. I'm going to move to the next slide. So we are done with this. Let's move to the next slide. And in the next slide, we are going to create some measures. All right, this part is very interesting, and we understand the need because these measures will help us create the beautiful cards and the KPI cards that we've been seeing. The KPI cards we've been seeing. Let me go back and show the meaning of these measures. Now, over here, you can see that once we are ready to build our reports, we are able to put total number of patients here, as a KPI for us to visualize it quickly or see it quickly, to know total costs, average treatment days, follow-up percentage. These KPI metrics are super important, and they are key data indicators and points out of our data, and they don't exist yet unless we measure them, unless we program them. All right. And so to build your report, you need to begin by creating the measures. So write some DAX codes to create them. And the moment you create them, you'll be able to use them in the visualization to provide KPIs. Anytime you build visualization for any organization, you need to ensure that they have their KPIs clearly created, and DAX will help you to do that. And so we are going to create total patients. We are going to use a function called distinct count. And if you are someone who can write code in SQL, you know that we have distinct. If you write a query and you want to know distinct, please type distinct in the chat for me. Now we are going to run distinct count, and distinct will check the patient ID from our table. So here I'm using a placeholder called table, and whatever our table is, make sure you choose the name of your table, and then you choose this particular column called patient ID. So this function here is going to do a count, but it's going to do distinct count. This means if there is a duplicate, or if one patient appears twice, it's going to ignore it. So distinct is very popular in SQL, and we are going to apply it in this function here. So I want you to create this measure called total patients, distinct count, use our table, and then patient ID. So please create the first one, and if you are done, type 1 in the chat. Remember, this is new measure, not new column. We've done this already, so I'm pretty sure you can do it. So go to new measure and create this for me. And create this. It's called total patient. If you are done, just put 1 in the chat for me. 1 in the chat for me. And today I may be moving a little faster, but make sure you follow. And if you don't follow, get a video and make sure you do your project, because this work we are doing, we want to do it really, really fine and clean. And we want to publish it as part of your portfolio for employment. So when we are done, you'll be asked to publish this work on LinkedIn and on GitHub. So make sure you do a very clean work so that when you are done, you can save it for future opportunities. All right. So if you have created this, go ahead and create total spend, and also create average treatment duration. And you can see why we are able to do this. We are able to create average treatment duration because of the new column we created called treatment duration. If we hadn't created that new column, we couldn't have gotten the average of it. All right. So create these 3. If you are done with number 2, put 2 in the chat for me. If you are done with number 3, put 3 in the chat for me. And this is very, very simple. These are just DAX commands. So just type them and let's go. Type them and let's go. And let me do mine. After that, we'll create 2 more and we will move on. All right. So let me go ahead and create mine. The first one is called total patients, and we are going to do a distinct count on patient ID. So I'm going to move to my Power BI and go to the modeling tab, go to new measure. Okay, this is not a new column, but a new measure. And this new measure, you just type total patients equals to, use a function called distinct counts. Then you look for your table, and you are doing this on this table and on what we call patient ID. So look for patient ID and close parenthesis, hit enter, and you look for it. You see total patients appear somewhere for you. So I can see mine right here, and it appears right here. Beautiful. Let's continue doing this because this is what it takes to become a professional. So let's keep doing this. The next one is called total spend. I'm just using a sum on treatment costs. So total spend. In my sample, I called it total costs, the same as total spend. So let's go back to modeling and then create a new measure. You can call it total spend or total costs. Total costs. Let me check and decide which one is easier to use. So over here, I call this total costs. And this total cost, it refers to the cost of treatment. So should we use total spend or total cost? Should we use total cost or total spend? Let me see in the chat. What do you think? As data analyst, what do you think? Should we use total cost or total spend? All right, total cost. All right. So what I want you to do is that I want you to go back to the measure you've created and double click on it, and it will open here in this formula bar. Edit it, hit enter, and tell me if you were able to edit it. Don't create a new one, edit it. If it works, let me know. Type edited in the chat. All right, so I'm going to create mine total cost. And thank you, Robley. Total costs. And one other thing, looking at this particular visualization to save time, no, don't worry, total cost is okay. We are not going to save time yet. All right, let's save time. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to type total cost into bracket USD. Then I will write the formula, total cost USD, and I write a sum on treatment cost. Total cost USD. Then I will write a sum function on treatment cost. All right, so this is simple. So total cost into bracket USD, and then sum my table and treatment cost. All right, this looks really good. So let me hit enter and I'll look for it. If it worked, I'm going to see it right here. So please, if you like to add USD or any currency you want to add, you can go ahead and do that and put edited in the chat. So now you can see how you can edit the measures as well. So we have one here called the average treatment duration. Average treatment duration. So this is what we built. We built treatment duration, but now we want to strike an average for our KPIs. And you understand the importance of mean and the importance of average in statistics and in data science and data analytics. We always want to see the average. The average gives us more insights than the highest or the lowest. So we want to know the average. All right. So let's go ahead and create average treatment duration if you haven't done that already. So I'm going to create a new measure and I'm going to call it, new measure, average treatment duration. And I'm going to use the average function. And this average on treatment duration. So let's look for treatment duration. Because we created it as a column, see how useful it has been. Wow, this is wonderful. All right. So I can see average treatment duration. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to double click on it and I'm going to use AVG over here so that my card will look much cleaner and it's readable. The function is correct. So I'm just going to call it AVG and it has updated over here. Someone says why AVG? And if you check here, you can see that I use AVG here as well. And so it looks here, if not, it's going to look so long. And you can even see that I put into bracket days. And this gives us an idea that it takes 194 days on average to treat any patient. Wow. Based upon the data, it takes 194 on average. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is that later on, I will add this. Let me leave it right now and move on. So next, we are going to create what is called the follow-up percent, And we'll use a function called divide, then calculate count rows and all of this. So let me type it quickly and I'll post it in the chat if you like to pick it. And if you have typed to go ahead and use what you just typed. So I'm going to type this, the function here, let me type there. We have follow dash up and percent. Follow up percent equals, we use a function called divide. Then into bracket, we will use calculate into bracket count rows. Remember not to make any mistake. Then here we will input our table, whatever the table is. So when I get there, I'll correct it. Then if we input our table again, then we say follow dash up required because we have a column called follow up required. So that's what we are selecting. And we are saying is equal to yes as a string, comma, then count rows again, and into brackets, another one, sorry, single quotes, then table, close your quotes, close parentheses, and then close your divide. All right, so this is a code. Let me share with you in the chat. Let me try it first. If it works, then I'll share with you. So I come here, I go to modeling, and I click on new measure, and I paste it here. And what I will do is to come here, and I wasn't supposed to break it. So I'll hit backspace. Okay, and if I want to break it here, sorry, let me just leave it. Okay, so over here, all I will do is to fix the table issue. So I'll come here and choose the right table. Patient records, that's correct. Over here, I need to choose the right table again. Patient records. And one more time, I'll choose the right table here. Patient records. And this is not also supposed to be broken. All right, so when you are typing and you need to break the line, you can break, but the code should not be broken. So I think I can just copy this for you to make your life easier. So this is it. Let me hit enter and see if it will be created. And I think I have it right here. Follow up percent is created. Let me share this with you. And if your table is the same as mine, you can use it. If not, you need to make some corrections. So I'm going to paste this in the chat. You can use it as it is. Okay. So let's continue. All right. So we have one more to create. We have one more to create. And it is called last refreshed. And we'll use a function called now. And now is a function that will extract the current date and time. So last refreshed equals to now. Let me create mine. I'm sure you have done yours already. So new measure, and we have last refreshed. Because a function called now. And because it's a function, you need to open and close parentheses. No arguments, hit enter, and you have last refreshed. Let me check for it. Have it right here. Okay. So all the measures we created are here. They've been added to our columns, and we have everything we need for our visualization. Now, if you are not a data analyst, you will not understand why we need to create these DAX measures. But if you're a data analyst, a data scientist, you understand their importance, because without these measures, we cannot have the beautiful KPIs we have here. And you understand that KPIs are more important to the organization than other visuals. KPIs stand for key performance indicators. They are the key indicators of the organization, and they are more important than any other metric on the report. And so you need to take the time and create your key metrics. Very important, so that you can have your KPIs. Beautiful. So this particular visualization, I added a sidebar, a left sidebar. So if you check here, you are going to see this beautiful left sidebar right here. And this is going to have our slices. And later on, we are going to create something similar, but we are going to create a navigation sidebar in other projects. Navigation sidebar. Now, the navigation sidebar will allow you to have links that you click to display other reports. All right. So this is the main treatment and follow-up report. If you want to check attendance reports, you can have a menu here or a button here. On the left side, you click on it for attendance, and attendance report will show here. Power BI has multiple pages, and you can create multiple reports on the various pages. You see, the data we have has more insights than what we are seeing on this page. This page is not enough to show us all that our data has, because our data, we remember seeing things like the full names of the patients. We saw things like their cities. We saw things like their patient code. We have more data in the data sets than we are visualizing here. This means we can create multiple pages to display different reports, and you can create a navigation system that allows you to click and load, just like a beautiful web page. And in Power BI, you have the capability of doing that, and we will learn how to do that. All right, so we are going to create this left sidebar, and you can see how I have created some lights shape here, and I've inputted or placed these slices in there nicely. All right, so let me create one and show you how I did it, and you'll be able to do the same. So based upon this, we are going to create a container. This container, I created it using a very simple shape here. So go to insert and go ahead and click on shapes, and you can see a rounded rectangle. So let's create it. Now, before I beautify it, I'm going to push it down, and I'm going to create my heading. You shouldn't have any report without a title or a heading. The title tells a lot about what they are looking at. And if you create a report without a title, it's like having a human being without a name. Without a name, you are nameless, you cannot be called, you cannot be addressed. So you need to have a name. So if I check my report here, I can see that the name says patient treatment and follow-up report for XYZ Health Center. Patient treatment and follow-up reports dash XYZ Health Center. Someone should put it in a chat for me so that I will go ahead and type it exactly as it is. I know we have very, very fast typists amongst us. So someone should do this in the chat for me in the next few seconds. I want to see it. Then I will go ahead and create it. So patient treatments and follow-up reports dash XYZ Health Center. All right, so let's get back to our, thank you very much, Lois Ominde. And I just pushed this one somewhere. And last time we used one particular tool here to create our title. Who remembers what we used the last time? Who remembers what we used? So let me see in the chat if you remember what we use. We use a text box. So click on text box. Okay, thank you. And the text box is right here. You can start typing. Thank you. So patient treatment and follow dash app reports dash XYZ Health Center. All right, so let me expand it and let me increase the font size to, let's say 32. Let me highlight everything first, highlight everything, choose font size 32, make it bold and make it centered. I like it centered. And then you expand this particular canvas, let it fill the entire width, and then close this part and make sure you close it as close as possible, but do your best to avoid having the scroll bar at the right here. This scroll bar is not needed. We don't want it. So make sure you don't get it. So it shouldn't be too close. So open it a little bit till that thing is gone. So it's gone, we don't have it, and this is fine. All right, so this is the first thing you do. Make sure you have it. It is centered, it's 32, and it's bold, and the font is the default Segway UI font. And now I will place my shape here, and I'm going to drag it like this. And this is what I'm going to be using for my sidebar. So let me check how I did this. Look at the width I used, and I'm going to make sure it is the same width. And one thing I'm using to gauge is that with this one, I ended it right after R. So I'm going to gauge the same and check that right after R, we have this ended. So let me see if I can close it a little bit. If not, okay, that's it. All right, I'll leave it like this. All right, so the height is all the way, and you can see that it has some rounded corners. I'm going to shape the rounded corners. I'm going to remove the background, and I'm going to apply a faint outline. I'm going to click on it again, and I'm going to come to our format shape thing, and we have the shape here. It's already rounded rectangle. I'm going to use 5% rounded corners, 5%. I like it that simple. Let me see how it looks. This is fine. This is fine, 5%. Let me try 7% and see if all the visualizations I use 5%. So let me stick to 5%. And if it doesn't look great, then I'll change it later on. All right, so with this, I just used a a rectangle under shapes, rounded rectangle. I drew it, and then I just changed the rounded corners to 5%. Now, when you come back to Format Shape pane here, start selecting the shape. You can adjust the shape. You can also adjust rotation, style, and for style, we have fill as this. For fill, I can just turn it off and check it and see that the fill is gone. So I don't have to bother changing the color. I don't want it. For the borders, I want it, so it should be on. And under border, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to use this one here. 20% darker. Let me try 10% first and see if it works. It's too light. Let me use 20% darker. Under style, under border, color, 20% darker. All right. All right, so this is okay for me, and that's what I'm going to use. Okay. So once you click on this, under the format shape, you can go to shape and general, and you can adjust the various properties. The properties you want to adjust now, they can be found under shape, and then shape again. We just adjusted this to 5%. After that, you can collapse it, and then we went to style, and for style, we remove the fill. We turned fill off, and for border, we turned it on, and we adjusted the color to 20% darker. Remember, every object has an outline color and a fill color, an outline color and a fill color. So we didn't want a fill color, we cleared it, and we created an outline color. If you want a fill color, you can go ahead and create a nice fill color. So let me turn it on and create a very faint fill color. And later on, we'll check if it's not nice, we'll just remove it. But in our sample, we don't have it. I don't think it will look nice. It's getting too much attention. So let me remove the fill again. We have transparency and all of that. Later on, you can use them. Let me just remove this. All right. That's beautiful. Okay. So next, after the sidebar, we are going to add our slices. So for slices, we are going to add what is called diagnosis, and we will add country, and we will add admission date, and we'll add gender, and we'll add last refreshed. So if you check this image, you are going to see that they are all here: diagnosis, country, admission date, gender, and last refreshed. So let's start with diagnosis dates, and this is a slicer. So let's go back to our work, and we look for what is called a slicer. So right here, we have KPI, and here we have slicer. So you click on slicer, and the slicer visualization will be created for you here. And this one here is supposed to be diagnosis. And so we need to look for what is called diagnosis in the columns. So over here, we can select diagnosis here. And we can see diagnosis show right here. The data we have within it, this is it. And what we are going to do is to format it for it to appear nicer. First of all, it's supposed to be a drop down. And so we are going to make it a drop down. Now, anytime you select a visualization, the visualization has properties that you can adjust. This is called format your visual. Once you go to format your visual, if the visual is selected, you can adjust the visual and general. General talks about what is outside the main data and what is around the same visualization. So under general, you can place a unique title on it. You can go to properties and check the size of it. So this is the size of the main thing, the padding. Very important. So all that we are doing, we are going to be using some of these formattings. All right. Right now, we are working with a slicer. So a slicer gives us what is called slicer settings, and it gives us the slicer settings in various styles. I'm going to change from vertical list, and I'm going to use drop down. With drop down, I will see my slicer here become a drop down. And what I'm going to do next, we have selections. You can do multi-select with control, or you can do show select all or single select. All right, so let's leave all of this. And the next thing is to check the slicer header. The slicer header says diagnosis, just like I also have diagnosis. But in my visualization, I want diagnosis to appear in caps. So I'm going to type it again, but in caps, because it looks better that way. Then, if you check here, we are still talking about the slicer header. So I click here and adjust the header to 14 in terms of size. And let me check what I have. It's good. The drop down to, I want that to become 14. So over here, we have the slicer, we have the values. Now the values refers to the values of the slicer. So here, let's set this to 14 and everything looks great. So with this, I'm going to close it because it's taking up a lot of space. And what I'm going to do is to place it right here in the center of my left bar. And I want to make sure that the space found on the left, is equivalent to the space found on the right. So I can adjust it and check, make sure they have equal spacing. If I want to reduce this a little, I can reduce this a little. And once I reduce it, I will use my mouse arrow key or my keyboard arrows to position it. Now, what I am looking at is how it appears visually. I'm checking the space here and the space here. I want to achieve uniformity and consistency. They need to be the same. All right. So let me go back to my work and you can see that this is almost okay. You can drop down anytime, select any of them, and it is still working. All right. Okay. So next, we are going to do the same thing for country. We are going to do the same thing for country. And so let us select another slicer and we will select country. Let me reduce the size. And this slicer, because it is selected, I can go to the formats visual and slicer settings. Under style, I'm going to choose drop down. And after that, the header, I'm going to type country in caps, make it 14. And then I'm seeing pending icon. Let me just remove it and we'll see. And under values, I set this to 12. And under slicer settings, we have all of these. And I'm going to reduce the height. Let me place this right here again. Sometimes, if you have one effect and you want to repeat the effect, you don't have to spend time recreating the effect because you have created it before, you can apply it elsewhere. So there is a feature within Power BI that's in Africa, only 5 people know how to use. Only 5. In 2020, during the COVID, 3 of them died. So right now, it's left with only 2 people. So that feature, what you are going to do is to click on what you have already done, like this. On the Home tab, we have what is called Format Painter. Format Painter is able to pick the able to pick the styling that you applied previously, and you can come to this visual and click on it. So when you click on it, it's going to apply the same styling to it. So for uniformity and consistency, we want this to be exactly the same. So this does not mean it will size it for you. It will apply the same formatting. All right. So make sure that yours are properly aligned. Check the line here. Make sure it meets the same. Check this one. If it doesn't, you fix it. So when it comes to building visuals, you need to be UI conscious. You need to be look and feel conscious. If this thing looks too close to the top, you have to click on it and move it down a little. If the space to this is too close, you need to move it down a little. Make sure that your eye can see what is right and what is wrong, because this is about visualization. So with this, I think we have it okay, and we can continue. All right. So the next thing is admission dates. And admission dates is also a slicer that we can place here. So I'll quickly go to Power BI and look for slicer again. Once it is here, I look for admission dates. Click on it. And it has given me the date in this format. Let me apply the format printer on it and see what will happen. All right. So with this, I'll check. We saw some changes. I'm going to change the heading here or title to caps. So always come here and we have slicer header, admission dates. We can change it to admission date. You see 14, this was applied because of the format printer. And when it comes to the values, let me come back here. After the slicer header, we have slicer values. Let me choose the same 14 and I will see how it looks. If it doesn't look okay, I'll work on it. All right, now I'm going to resize it. I'm going to resize it so I can see the heading well. And I'm going to place it inside my sidebar. Okay, so this will allow us to move through the dates and everything is already interactive. The moment you have it, it is going to work. It is going to work. All right. So it's working. By the time we are done, we are going to polish it and make sure it looks much better. All right, let me check the next slicer. We have gender and last refreshed. After that, we will take a short break and we will come and build our KPIs after. So we have gender. So we will look for another slicer for gender. And for gender, we will just look through here for gender. And let me select this, take the format painter and apply it on gender. And it has worked beautifully. The only thing is the header that I need to change to caps, and it worked beautifully. So I'm going to resize this. I'm going to bring it here. So I have my gender right here. Zoom out and check it. And I think it looks great. Okay. So I'm going to add my last slicer. This is actually a card. It's not a slicer, it's a card. And this particular card is called last refreshed. So I'm not going to use slicer for it. I'm going to use a card for it. So I'm going to look for card, and I have a card here. And I'll look for last refreshed right here. Now, when you check last refreshed, you are going to see that it is giving you date and time. So what we are going to do is to make sure that instead of giving us date and time, it is rather giving us the date in this format. So what I'm going to do, the only way to fix this at the moment, or there are several ways to go about it, but one of the easiest way is to change the DAX code to display the date in the format you want it. So on the slides, I think I created a slide that teaches you how to create that. So let me open to Notepad again, and I'm going to type that. So we are going to change the format and say use now like we used, but this time format it in MMM space DD, comma, YYYY. And so with this formatting, it will pick now, but format it into the month in 3 letters, the day and the year. All right, if this makes sense in the chats, let me know. So to do it, you will go to last refreshed, double click on it, come here and change now to the new format. So please type this, change your last refresh to this format. Type it. If you are done, type down in the chat for me. And let's hit enter. Thank you. And you can see that it has changed the format of the date. That's beautiful. Next thing, I'm going to click on this, use my format painter to see if I can paint it in a way that will work, but it probably didn't respond the way I wanted. So I'm going to fix this last refreshed issues myself. All right, so let me paste the code in the chat for you. Okay. Let me put it in the chat for you. And I'm going to make it show last refreshed. Just like this. All right, so the heading is going to be in caps and we are going to reduce the font size. So let's get started. So over here, we have the layouts. You can see how it is. No problem. The shape, the background, overflow, the padding, all of these are wonderful. And we have the values. And the values, we are going to reduce the size so that the May 2022 will reduce completely. And I'm going to reduce it to 15. So it looks 15, young as 15. And the values, I'm done with values. And the labels, you are going to see the labels here, if there are any labels. And over here, let me show you. You have above value, we have below value. So you can see that if you choose below, the label goes below it. And if you choose above, the label goes above it. All right. So over here, what we are going to do here, and the label, let me see how this looks. Last refresh. There are several ways of going about it. Over here, one of the things we can do is to turn this off, turn the label off. Let me open to reference labels here and see. Okay, so that is it. Let's forget about this for now. And under general, we have what is called a title. Now the title, let me reduce the size of this and turn on the title and place in a title here and see. Last refreshed. All right, so we have this last refreshed here, and it has appeared here as a title. So the label for the cards, they are in, but the titles are found outside. All right, so let's see how we can format it to look the way we want. And first off, we are going to remove the borders and the paddings. Let's go back there. Let me just place it here so that it will be easy to see. So over here, we have our properties. Let me check this again. We have some padding here. This padding is giving us 555, and this is not a designing class, but let's talk about padding a little bit. If you're a web designer, you'll be dealing with paddings a lot. And paddings are created around objects like this particular shape you see here, this rectangle you see here. This rectangle has spacing after the box. So if the spacing is located outside the box, it is referred to as margin. Please type margin in the chat for me. If the spacing is referring to space after the outline, it is called margin. Please type margin. Now, after margin, we also have spacing within the box. Spacing within the box is called padding. Please type padding. Type padding in the chat. Padding refers to spacing within the box. This means if I adjust the margin, it's going to adjust space outside. But if I adjust padding, padding is space inside. All right, so I can see padding. Let me see if I can adjust the padding and the padding will work out. So I think I went to general under properties. I saw padding here. And so let me remove this. And it is fixing this. And you can see right here. So padding here, if this is a box, padding is what is inside before the contents. So This padding is working, just that it's not what I need. Yes, in CSS, you get to learn those things. All right, so this is okay, but this is not what I need now. Now, let me go to effects here. And over here under effects, we have visual border. We are not going to use this. We are not going to use header icons. And we can go to visual again. Under layout here, you will see what we used, space between cards and all of that. Okay. All this we'll discuss later. Under the shape here, we have the callout values. This is the values. We've already done this. Then layouts. Layout is okay. Okay, now let's go to cards. Because it's a card, and the cards, you can do additional settings. So we have some padding over here. Let me click on this and let me use custom and remove all the padding. Remove this one too. Yes. So this is one way of doing it. Apart from this, there are other ways of going about it. Right now, what I want to do is to remove the outline. So you can see border, we can turn it off. And of course, we don't want any background. So this can be found under cards, under cards. All right, let me check if it is the way I want it. If not, I'll still do something about it. Okay, so this is one way to go about it. I'm seeing too much spacing between the date and the title, but the original one is not like that. So this means the approach I used needs to change. So what I'm going to do now is to go back to Format Visuals, go back to General, and remove the title. I don't want this title. Go back to Visual, go back to the values. The values are here, but the label, that is last refreshed. Let me see the labels here. Now, this particular label here is called last refreshed, and I'm seeing last refreshed here because the tax metric or the measure was created this way. Now, struggle we are having here is to turn it into caps, but it is not changing. And so one way is to double click on this and go back to the code and just edit it right from the code. So instead of this, we'll just say last refreshed in caps and hit enter, and voila, it worked. So this looks much cleaner, much better. The only thing is to deepen the color a little bit, because if I check the other headings, they have different colors. So you come back here, go back to the callout values and go back to the label and change this color to a darker one. The darker one. Let me see this. Okay. And let me see bold. If bold is okay, I don't think I need bold. All right. Someone says, why are you spending time on all of this? And what I'm going to tell you, that professionals pay attention to details. All right. So when you see something that looks amazing, that looks so good, it's because the person who worked on it paid attention to details. Now, the more you advance in skills, the easier it is to see what is not right, to see what is wrong, and to fix it. Now, as we are working on this UI, my UII is communicating with me. When something is not right, my UII will tell me that no, this doesn't look okay. Look at this. Something is wrong. Who can see it? Who can see what is wrong here? Who can see it? Okay. Since we are talking about visualization, you need to have that attention to correct visuals. Okay. Who can see what is wrong right here in this area? Who can see what is wrong? All right. So I'm checking in the chat for someone to tell me what is wrong over there. What do you see wrong? All right. So I'm not getting anything. And you may think this is nothing. Okay, thank you, Timothy. It's talking about the alignment. All right. What I want you to see, just like what I explained to others during the presentation, you need to take your time and watch this. This is not it, but you can see that the alignment, look at the alignment from here. You can see that the last refresh is out of line. So you need to move it. And even if moving it is not working, use your mouse. It's much better. Then, where it needs to be vertically, you need to also see that as well. Okay, where it needs to be vertically, you need to see that as well. So you are not just checking the horizontal position, the vertical position as well. Okay. All right. Since this is talking about last refresh, I want it at the bottom. And I will even be happier if it is a little bit separated from the other slices. If it's a little bit separated from the other slices so that it looks like it is just providing information and it is not a slicer. All right. So when you are working on things like this, just pay attention to details. Okay. Let me use the arrow. You can see you can use your mouse, your keyboard arrows or your arrow keys to move around. All right. So this is not time wasting at all. It is necessary to get your work to appear professional. So when I look step back, I think it looks much better. This one here, my eye is telling me that I need to push it down a little bit. And it's okay. I like the way I've separated this a little just to give out the idea that they are separate. They are different things, you see? So as you are working, you need to make sure you pay attention to alignment, you pay attention to sizes, you pay attention to uniformity and consistency. You can see that because of alignment and all of these things, your work will look well organized. But if you don't have the eye for that and you just place anything anyhow, what is going to happen is that you have your report working, but the visuals are a mess. All right. And at Rate Africa, we don't want you to do that. Okay. So whatever you do, make sure it's done well. Look at what I've done. I think it looks clean. It looks clean. We are not done with the work, but the little part I've done looks really good. And by the time we are done, you see how professional everything looks. So you need to have that eye for quality and that eye for professionalism. I want us to take a short break. After the break, we will quickly work on the rest. This is the most difficult part. The rest will not be difficult because this required a lot of coding and a lot of alignment and adjustments, but the rest will be pretty straightforward because we've done them before. All right, so let's continue working, and we have to understand that the project we are working on and the course we are taking has very valuable returns on the time we are putting into it. So let's keep on investing time into it. Let's keep on learning and let's keep on putting in the work, and we will benefit a whole lot from it. All right. So now let's get back to our slide and let me see where we are. PowerPoint, let me see. All right. So I think it's time to go ahead and create our KPI cards. And so the KPI cards are the summary visuals that sit at the top of our reports. They display the most important metrics like total patients, total costs, average treatment duration, and follow-up. All right, so these are the KPI displays we are going to work on for the cards. And I'll go ahead and create the first one. I'll go ahead and create the first one. That will be called total patients. And I will create it to look just like we have in our visual here. And so we have total patients, and then we will have total cost in USD and average duration days and follow-up percent. So let's get to work and let's create total patients. All right, so this is a card. So we'll choose card here. We'll look for card. And once we have card, we are looking for total patients. So with this total patient, let's check if we have a measure called total patients. If we do, we will click on it and it will just appear here, total patients 1K. So we will go ahead and format it. You pay attention to the formatting, how it appears. So we will size it. Let me place it right here and we'll format it. When we are done, we send it to the right position. So first of all, let's check the outline. I can see that the shape here is a rectangle. So I'm going to click on it and then click on format your visual. And I'll go to general. And general here, let me just go back to visual. From there, we'll go back to general. We have layout here. And after layout, we have the shape. And you can see that the shape, it is still a card, but then you can work on the rounded corners. So let's put in some figures here. And let me choose about 7 and check. Okay, so this is not what I'm supposed to get. Let me come back here and let's select. Let me click on card and see what is there. So card here, you can see the shape here. This is a shape we are looking for. It's a rectangle, but we can change it to rounded rectangle. And let me choose. Let me check if it looks okay. 7. Let's leave it like that. And let's work on the, let me go back there. Let me go back to cards. And we have the shape. We have the padding. We have the padding. Padding. Fix this later. We have alignments. We have background. We don't want any background. We have the borders. The borders, I'm going to choose this one for borders. And let me leave the rest like that for now. And let's go back to the callout values. Let me bring it down here. And the callout values, over here, this affects the value. So 1K is okay. The size is okay. And we have the alignment. Let's choose center so that the values are aligned to the center. So this is under the callout values and the visual callout values. When you are dealing with cards, to work on the values, you need to come to callout values and make your adjustments over here. Now, the label is here. This label is total patient. We don't have any issue with it. We can leave it above or below. We want hours above. And let me go back to okay. So this looks okay. Then we have layout here. That is fine. Let me go back to cards again. Let me check everything again. Okay. All right. So this looks okay. This looks okay. And let me see this reference labels. Okay. All right. So under values, let me go back to values and check how it's displayed. All right. So this is fine. So what we can do here, instead of applying the settings to everything, we can choose total patients. And after choosing that, we'll see display units. The display units will allow us to choose how we want to display the values, whether in thousands or to display millions or billions or auto. So the auto is choosing 1K, but I want us to choose none so that we see the total display values here. And we also have decimal places. So for decimal places, if you want to show decimal places, you can, but this data doesn't require any decimal place. So we can leave it to 0 auto. All right. So over here, because it is a card, we have the callout values. The callout values affect the values here. So over here, we're able to see the size of the values if you want to adjust it. We're able to align it. And we're supposed to set display unit, but if it is set to all, let's see if the display unit is there. The display unit wasn't showing. So this needs to be set to total patients before the display unit will show, and you can set it to none and you have it this way. So let me inspect it again and see if it is okay for me. Let me see how it looks. Total patients. Let me compare it with this, and I think it's not too bad. All right, so it's not too bad. Let me go ahead and place it here. So over here, I can see that they are not properly aligned. So I'm going to fix it. Usually with the cards, the arrow keys are not working. And so I'm going to do that on this rather. I'm going to move this one down. And I'm going to use the arrow keys to adjust this one and check. If it is not okay, I do it again. I need to bring it down and bring it down again. All right, so pay attention to these things. These things are very important. They show your professionalism and they make your work look right. So make sure that things are properly aligned. So the line here should be the same. And moving forward, the gutters we leave here must be the same. Now, if I check the rounded corners, this one looks more rounded than this. So as a professional, let me pay attention to that and come to where I set the rounded corners under the card and the shape. Let me make this 10 and go and check. And let me add a little bit more to it. So these things are important. Okay. All right. So I think I will go with this. I'll go with this like this. So next, let me create my next KPI. So next, we have total cost in USD. So we create another card. The visual comes here. This is an empty visual. Total cost USD. We already have it here. And this is displaying well. I think the only thing we'll do is to center it. All right. So to center it, I'll go to Format Visual. I'll go to the callout values and I will just center it right here. Then I will resize it, place it next to this. Make sure the guidelines are helping me. The guidelines are helping me. Now I can see some significant difference in the shape outline and the color and the rounded corners. And so this is a beautiful time to go for the Format Painter and just apply it on it. And after applying the Format Painter, you can see that that work is done for you. So now we just fix the height. And later on, if we need to fix the weight, we fix it. You see how easy we did this and it is done. All right, so let's check the next part. And this one is called average treatment duration. So let's quickly create another card. So you click on card and then average treatment duration. So over here, we have treatment duration here. I don't know if we have average treatment duration. We already have it. So let's click on it. Average treatment duration, and it's here. Average treatment duration. All right. So what I want to show is that I wanted to show that this is in days. So we will go ahead and double click on it and come back to the code. And I'm going to put into bracket days like this. Then hit enter and that will be added for me. You can see it's done here. And I just need to size it well. Let me format it right. The only formatting I need right now is a centering. So I'll come back here. I'll look for callout values again and make it centered. And I want this to be in 0 decimal places. So I need to look for the display unit again. So let's change this to this, and we will see display unit and decimal values. Voila. So display unit can still be under auto, and then decimal value is set to 0, or this can be none. Auto means it should be selected automatically. All right, so the next thing is to place it somewhere here, but I can see that there are issues with the shapes. So I click on this and I go and look for my format painter, and I will apply it on it. And immediately it has applied the formatting. Unfortunately, it has added the decimals again, but I can remove it when I come to call out values. I can remove the decimal places from here. All right, so this is okay for me. And I can close this a little, close this one to a little bit, join this to this, bring this here, close it, and I just want to create room for the last one. So if we need to make up more space, we will do that. The guidelines here are helping me to position them properly. Now, later on, I'm going to show you that you can click on this, hold shift, click on the next, hold shift, click on the next. Later on, you can come to formats, you can go to align, and you can distribute them horizontally, and it will properly align them for you. So later we will check all of that. For now, let me create my last card here for the follow-up percentage. Follow-up percentage. So I'm going to create another card. And over here, there's a visual. And follow-up percent, we already have it. The only thing is that it is showing 0.44. So let me set it well. And the little I can do now is to center it. So I go to call out values and just center it. And I need to change this to 44% instead of 0.44. So how do I do that? Instead of recreating the measure, I can use the same thing. Click on this measure here. And let me show you what happened. When you click on this follow-up, you are able to edit the code right here. Sorry, you're able to edit the code right here, but we are not going to edit the code. We will go to formats and we'll tell the format to change it from general, and we will choose percentage. So by changing the formats, let's see what has happened to it. It has changed. So if we enlarge it, you can see how it is looking now. Now we want to set it to 0 decimal places. Before I set it, I'm going to apply the format painter from any of these ones. This is interesting. So if I apply the format painter, since this one has 0 decimal places, let me see if it will affect it. So I apply it and okay, it didn't. All right, so we come here and we will set the decimal places and the color values. Let's change this from all to follow-up percent, and let's set this to 0. Beautiful. All right, so let me resize this and place it right here and check the height. and place it right here. And please, if you are following, I'd like to know in the chat, let me know you are following and you are not lost. Let me know that I'm not the only one here, so that I know that we can continue the class. All right, so what is left are the main visuals, and that will be the easiest part, okay? That will be the easiest part. So I'm going to continue and finish it. And since you are following, I'm going to continue. If you were not following, then I was going to end the class. But if you are following, I will continue. You can see that we are building it and it's working, it's coming. So let me go ahead and work on the other visuals. So back to our slides over here, you can see that we have, what type of visualization is this? Who can tell me? From our Excel class, what kind of visualization is this? What is this? What I mean is that this is a donut chart or pie chart, donut chart. So this should be a bar chart. Thank you. Yes, so someone says a stacked bar chart. So let me create my stacked bar chart. Now the specifications are in the video. I'll show you how you're supposed to go about it. But since we are seeing it, we can also do that. So over here under visualizations, this one here is called stacked bar charts. This is called stacked column chart. This is clustered bar chart. Let me use clustered bar charts and let's see the visualization we have here. And to get this right, if you come here to the main visualizations, the first one here is using clustered bar chart. You can see right here. You can see that you are supposed to use clustered bar charts. And you can see that the axis, talking about the x-axis, should be given to the diagnosis column. And then the values, which is a y-axis, the value should be given to the patient ID, but then we should change the aggregation to counts. So what this is going to do is to count the number of patients. Based on the patient ID, we are going to count. And the count that we will get, we will add it to diagnosis on the chart so that the diagnosis will separate them and we will see the counts of each one. So let's just do that. After creating the visualization, we are going to select diagnosis and we are going to select patient ID. These are the two columns we are going to use to create this chart. And then over here, we are supposed to, let's see if it has created, it hasn't created it. So what we are going to do is to place diagnosis, is to place the patient ID on the x-axis and change the aggregation to counts. So because of this, let's check if we have something similar. And I think we have what we are looking for. So with this, it is able to put the diagnosis on the Y, and then on the X, we get a count. So this will create this visualization like this for us. All right, so I think this is nice. And let's see what else to do. There are some formatting tips here to help you format it. And over here, you can change the title to Diagnosis Overview. Let me see from the visual how we are supposed to do it. And I think I'm going to move this visual forward so that it becomes very easy to access it. Let me do that now. All right, so let me go through the last step for Luis. Great to see you, Luis. So Luis wants to know how we did the follow-up. So let me go to Power BI. And this follow-up lets me delete it and do it again for Louise. So this is what type of visualization should we use, Louise? What visualization are we using? So let me see what visualization you think we are using. Louise, I'm waiting for you. And the visualization is a card. Oh, all right. So you're not talking about this. You're talking about this one. Sorry. So let me just undo, Control Z, and it's back. Okay, good. So this is what you are talking about. All right. So let me delete it and let's create it again. So this one, we used the clustered bar chart. So you click on it. So if you follow the video, for each visualization, you'll be told what to use. So with this one, you can see right here, we are creating diagnosis overview. So you are supposed to use a clustered bar chart. And the fields you'll be using will be diagnosis and patient ID. Because diagnosis is what we are looking for. We are looking for the diseases that were diagnosed or the illnesses that were diagnosed. And we want to know how many, and we can count that based upon patients. So over here, you can see count of patients. We can count it based upon patients. So to do that, we will come here and we will select diagnosis and we will select patient ID. Instead of selecting, you can also drag. Now, diagnosis came on the y-axis, which is okay. That's why we want it on the vertical axis. But on the x-axis, we want the count. So instead of leaving this under legend, we want this to be brought to the x-axis. So you drag it and place it here. If it is not showing, you can look for it here, drag it from here and place it here. If that is also not showing, you can click here, add data fields. If it is not responding, you can just go ahead and you can just drag and drop it. All right. Okay. All right. So right now we are looking for the count. So when you click here, you look for the count. Sometimes we look for other things, but the count is okay. All right. So now that we have this, we just work on it. Let me see how we can quickly arrange it. So here, it should end somewhere in the middle of this. And this is the height. So let me just place it somewhere like this. And when we check this, we are going to see that we have some borders around it, which makes it look very clean. I like it. So to be able to create those borders, what I'm going to do is to use the format painter again. Let me click on one of these, use the format painter and apply it onto it and see if it will give me the borders. And I didn't get it because the elements are different elements. So it couldn't apply the right formatting you want. But no problem, we can create this ourselves. And after we work on this, we can use it to apply on the others. So right now, let me give it the right title. So over here, I see that the title is Diagnosis Overview. So I'm going to select Diagnosis Overview as a title. Let me place it here so that I can easily see it when I zoom. So over here, diagnosis overview. So this diagnosis overview, I want it as a title in general. This means I want it outside. So I come here and I'll type in caps, diagnosis overview. Okay, I don't think it was in caps. Diagnosis overview. All right. And then for the font size, if the size is not okay, you can increase the size. Let me quickly check this, and I can see the size here. I think it should be more than what we have. So let me increase the size a little bit. Okay, so this is not working. Okay, it's working now. All right, so let me leave it here for now. And then let me set the X and Y axis headings. So that we'll do that under visuals. So over here, let me check. This is off already, so this is nothing. Let me check these bars. Here we can use this for the colors. We have borders, which we will look at. We have layout, and we have data labels. We have the y-axis right here. So we can just work on y-axis here. So for y-axis, it has a title here. So the title, we can type it here. And if you check the title we used, it's going to be common health issues. So we can type it here, common health issues. All right, so common health issues. And then here should be count of patients. So we will move to the x-axis and we will talk about the title and counts of patients. All right, so that is okay. So next, I'm going to activate the borders and let me check where the borders are. The borders are around the whole thing. So let me take time and do this. After this, Format Painter can help me fix for the others. So I'll just click on this and go to General. Since I'm targeting the outside, I look for properties and I check the size, position, bounce, all of these. Okay. Then let me come down and check effects. Under effects, we have background, we have visual border. Let me turn that on and let me see if I have it. Okay, so I have it, but it's dark. So back there, general effects, visual border. We change the color to something light. Let me choose this and compare it with these ones. I think it's perfect. Let me go back there. General, under effects and visual border. Rounded corners. Let me place 7 again and check if I got it. Okay, so I need to increase it to somewhere like 14. So effects, visual border. All right. So right now, the issue I have is that the title is too close to the borders at the top and at the left. So I think I need to adjust something called the padding. So I need to go back here and look for where I can find the padding. So with this padding, let me check here under general properties. Over here, we have position, we have padding. So the padding, I'm going to add some 5 padding to the top. You can see what is happening. And I'm going to add some more padding here. So let me make this 12, make this 7. And it looks fine. Just that, let me check this again. So the roundness looks too much for me. So I will go back and reduce it a little. So this padding, let me increase this a little bit. All right. Then the rounded corners, I will work on it a little bit under effects, visual border, rounded corners, let me make it 10. Okay, I think it's okay. So this looks pretty neat. Let me place it right here and position it well. Okay. Position it well. And I'm going to go ahead and place the rest quickly. So next, you can see that we have gender distribution for the donuts chart. So I will come here and we have a pie chart here and we have donuts chart. I like the donuts. I'll choose the donuts charts, and this donuts chart will be done based upon gender and patient ID on counts. So here I'm going to look quickly for gender and patient ID. Patient ID should move to this axis to counts. And apart from counts, we have count distinct and all that. So count is okay. So we have it done already. Everything is done. So I'm going to place it somewhere here. Let me check how this looks. Sorry. Okay, so a third one will come here. So I will pick this formatting from the format painter and I'm going to apply it onto this. And I can see that it has done a lot of work for me. So I will go ahead and resize it how I want. Make sure the same height. Probably close this a little bit. And open this one. And then the title is gender distribution. So I click on it. I go to the formatting. Title, I think I can go to general and title and just call this gender distribution. And that is okay. And let me check what else. Okay, so here we only have the percentage outside. So here I click on this, come back here, and under we have slices and we have labels. The labels are outside. You can bring them inside, but I think I want them outside. And the label content, I think I just want to have the percent of the category like this. So male and female, I think this looks much better. This looks much better. And quickly, I'm going to place this one here. This one here is follow-up status, and this is column charts, follow-up status. So I look for column charts from here, fasted column charts. And over here, it says we should use, okay, follow-up status. So that's what I'm working on. We should use follow-up required and patient ID on counts. So follow-up required is here for the yes or no, and patient ID on counts. So patient ID will move here, and I think we have what we want. Let me close it and bring it here. We'll be done very, very soon. All right, so I'm going to apply the format painter of one of them. So I'm picking this one and I apply. You can see that the padding and everything has been applied for me. That is really nice. And what I'm going to do is to change the title to follow-up status. So let me bring it here. Change the title and the general title. Call this follow-up status. And I'm going to remove the x-axis title of the y-axis, the title of, and I'm going to go to the values, and this is okay. I can go to the bars, sorry, plotted area background. Okay, that's okay. Let me check this. This is fine. Okay. Right. So this is okay. And let me go back here. So since these are column charts, we can use columns. So this is not a bar chart, so we can go to columns and we can come here and choose yes. And yes column, we can give it a unique color for yes, and then change this to no and give no a unique color for no. If you cannot find the color you want, you can go to more colors and you can select the color you want. So for yes and no, I'm giving them different colors. Let me go back to yes. Now, if we're dealing with a column charts, then you look for, if we're dealing with bar charts, you look for bars. But since this is column charts, you look for column. And you can adjust this. right here. Okay, so I'm just choosing a color at random. And for the unknowns, I will just give it color gray. All right, so this is fine. So you can fix yours as well. And I'm left with just two visualizations, two visuals, and we are done. So we have total country, cost by country. And so this is dealing with country and cost, different cost. You can see total cost and country. And this is a bar chart. So we look for bar chart again. And we come back to data, look for country and cost of treatment, total cost in USD. This is what we are looking for. And let's see what we have. I think we have it already. And it looks amazing. Let me just apply the format painter here to this. And it looks awesome. Here I can see that because of uniformity, I'll make sure the spacing are the same. So this is what shows that you pay attention to detail. Yes, so let me click on this and move it one, and click on this, move it one, click on this, move it one, and check again. Let me leave it like this because of time. And over here, we have total cost by country. So over here, when I click on it, I want to edit the title. So when I click here, I go to general and title, and total cost by country is already here. I'll just remove the USD and I have it. So now I need to give some colors to the different countries. And so I'll click on it again, go back here. And since this is a bar chart, I will look for bars and I can select the countries one by one. So Ghana, let's give Ghana a color. I don't know what color will match Ghana. Then South Africa, I think blue is okay for South Africa. Then Kenya, we'll look for some green for Kenya. And for Nigeria, Nigeria should be green. So let me choose setting green for Nigeria. And let me change Kenya from green to maybe this. But let's check. Okay, so Kenya needs to be a different color. All right, so let's assume this is what we have. And then one last visual, that is age distribution. For age distribution, we are using age group and patient ID. So I will click on another bar chart and we will look for age group. Age group should be up here and patient ID. We drag and drop it here and we have what we want. Let me click here, use the format painter and apply it on it. You can see how the format painter has been very helpful. And let me check. For age distribution, I think we are removing the Y and X axis. This is called age group distribution. So quickly, when we come here, for Y axis, we are removing, the values remain. Title should be off. X axis, range is okay, values remain. Title is off. Then under general, we will type title, age distribution. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I think our work is done. think our work is done. I think this looks great. Definitely, when you do any work like this, you need to pay attention to detail and make sure that you continue checking for errors and make sure you fix any issues you may have. I think even though this is a rush work, it is okay. I'm just going to save it, go to File and Save, and I'm going to publish this to the Power BI workspace. Select, and I'm publishing already. And hopefully I'll be able to finish publishing. If I get success, it means I've done it well. And I can click here to see it live. So my browser is opening. I like to see it in full screen. So let me switch to full screen and wait again. Let me enter this, Darlington, creatorafrica.com. Hope you don't ask me for password. Okay, I have password in there already. It's going to ask me for authentication. Let me fix that here on my phone. MFA. Let me fix this. So if someone sees my password, they will have to use my phone to MFA, and they need my fingerprint as well. Please don't show me this again. All right, so I just want to see how this will show on Power BI service, and let's see how it will show. So what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? I think we've done a wonderful job, and this is it. So I want to see your work. Please do it. And the next time we meet, I'd like to inspect your work. Do a very good job. Make sure your work is very, very neat. And this particular work, I will want us to publish it. I want us to publish it. So when you come to the sample, this is a sample. This is a sample. This is a sample. Okay, so you can look at this in the video and make sure your work looks like this. Make sure it looks like this, and feel free to make any change that makes it better, okay? If you are making any changes, make sure it makes it better. So later on, when we are inspecting, I'd like to see that yours is better. If yours is not better, then stick to this. This is okay. So this is where we end the class, and it's been just a little bit long, but I think we have seen a whole lot, we've learned a whole lot, and we've added to our Power BI skills. This is really important. If you are able to do this, then you are very, very close to your dreams. So let's all do this. Everyone should create this. And in the next class, I'd like to see the wonderful work you've done. Please take note that we are going to publish this to the public for employers to see, for the whole world to see. So make sure you do a neat job. And after the inspection, I'll let you do a short 30-second video to demonstrate how interactive your visual is. Talk about it. Talk about it. You talk about it. You tell everyone what this is. You move through the visuals and you change some of the metrics for us to see the different data. And this will really fascinate a lot of people. And this looks really, really nice. So we'll do some quick video and we will publish it on LinkedIn. So thank you all for the time. Sorry for taking 10, 15 more minutes of your time, but I think we've been able to do what we have to do. So thank you so much. And I will see you next week in the next class. I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful weekend and I will meet you on Monday. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.